Good morning. Welcome to the premium public video discussion for Friday, December 23rd, 2022. I decided to do a premium public combo today because of the serious nature of what we're dealing with and how some people understandably might be underestimating what we're approaching here, what we're dealing with here. So I wanted to make it very clear to everyone what is happening. No, it's not going to be like a Hollywood movie the day after tomorrow, next week of 2 days with Arctic wolves and all that other nonsense. And I know that some of the media is kind of playing this up a bit. So I want to explain to you what exactly is evolving here. And of course, I also want to wish all of you a happy Hanukkah, a happy Merry Christmas. I know Christmas Eve is tomorrow, which we are loaded with food. Good deal. And Christmas Day is on Sunday. Looks like it's going to be setting up to be one of the coldest Christmases we've seen in 30 years, if not longer. So that is going to be impressive. But before we get there, we have a very impressive Arctic cold front on the move. And of course, if you would like, please help the channel by sharing, and subscribing. All that stuff down there it actually helps out quite a bit. And also, if you're interested in more detailed information and live coverage throughout the day with constant contact with me, then definitely check out the premium consulting membership up top there. Just hit that little link up there. Now, let's get to this information because we got a lot to go over. This is a surface map, okay? We already had our high temperatures for today. It's done. If you were up at 3 a.m., that was the warmest part of the day. We were in the 50s. That warm air is actually out here in Connecticut now and Long Island, where temperatures are in the mid to upper 50s. We are gradually falling through the 40s, and I'll show you why. But this isn't the cold front yet. This is like the pre-front, okay? This is the modified polar air mass. That is the Arctic air mass. We go from 40 right ahead of the cold front with those southerly winds. With winds you might be able to hear them behind me. Right now, they're from the south at around 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusts at times up to, let's see here, we have 35 miles, a couple of 40s mixed in there right up here. And then, of course, we have our winds behind us. Now, look, the temperatures go from 40, frontal passage, 30s, lower 30s, teens. So, here is the concern and setup here. Any rainfall, any moisture on the ground is going to freeze like that. And you have people driving. It's a busy time of year for travel for a variety of different reasons. You have people out shopping because, you know, that the person who decides to shop the last minute on Christmas Eve heads out, run to the mall. Well, that's going on right now. And you're having all that happening, and it doesn't take a lot of water on the roadways to create a fine sheet of ice and serious travel concerns. So that is the concern here, is that it's not we're falling from 40 to 32 and watch out for some ice. We're talking about going from 40s and 50s to teens in a very short period of time. And that is why they call it a flash freeze, because you don't have a lot of time to adjust. Not to mention, if you're out there without a coat in this weather, you're going to have frostbite concerns pretty significantly. Now, is there a potential here for snow? We're going to walk through this right now. Now, right now we have our rainfall marching in. We have some heavier rainfall, and then we have some snow signals back here. Taking a look at the radar right now from WeatherTap, I didn't bother doing the surface observations on here only because it doesn't have enough time to catch up with how rapidly things are changing. So this is our Arctic front. And one thing that kind of catches my attention is this build back right here, okay? So this front is going to be lifting through. This area of snowfall is likely heading towards the Poconos and up towards the Catskills and Hudson River Valley and Connecticut and New England. But this area is heading towards the Philadelphia and New York City metro, and this area is heading towards southern New Jersey. Now, when we take a look at this setup of this frontal boundary, here is the surface pressures. Okay, you have your warm front here. You have your low pressure system that's bombing out here. You have your cold front back here. Let's walk through the mid levels of the atmosphere so that way you get a better idea of what we're dealing with. First of all, there is our 850 millibar jet streak here, which we'll talk about in just a moment. Start off with the 850 millibar temperatures. Notice that the 850 millibar temperatures in the cold front is moving faster than the surface cold front. And this is some really impressive cold air transport. Okay, when you get your heights and your temperature field here packed in like this, kind of like little boxes, and you have this set up like this, that is some very strong thermogenesis, very strong lifting. A very rapid drop in temperatures, and it's usually pretty rare to see this type of setup. Usually, you really only see this when you're doing like Met 101 and you're trying to pick out where the cold air transport is, and they make it obvious. Well, this is as obvious as you can get. But notice we have cold air at the mid-levels pushing out ahead of the cold front, and that's important in determining whether or not we actually have a threat here for changing over to snow. Because at 9 to 25 millibars, it's much closer to where we are at the surface. So then what this is telling me is that once the cold front goes through and those temperatures crash, you'll be able to change over from rain to snow very, very quickly. And then we go down to the surface, and we'll pull up this one right here, and you can see that guidance very clearly here. So our Arctic cold front comes through, and it matches up pretty nicely here with our observations. Cold front comes through, temperatures crash, it's still precipitating. And with that, we have plenty of support of thermogenesis at every level, so we have plenty of lifting. And we also have moisture lingering in the atmosphere. Let's see here. I don't have the relative humidity plots, unfortunately, but that's okay. You can see the lifting associated with that. Meanwhile, the upper level winds, let me pull this up here real fast. This is from Earth News School. You see this setup right here? This divergence in diffluence, and see how the upper level low sets up? That allows for that expansion of precipitation. Meanwhile, our 850 millibar winds, the reason why I want to point this out is that this enhances the transport of that cold air and also is going to be mixing down towards the surface. So there's your wind gusts. While this upper level low sets up, watch as this sets up for this weekend. It sets up lake effect snow off of Lake Ontario and Lake Erie, which we're going to watch out for to break out in pieces as snow showers, especially over the Poconos and Catskills, but could even reach the coast. And oh, by the way, as this sets up, you're going to have that westerly fetch cutting across the Long Island Sound, the Delaware Bay, and off the ocean. So that's going to lead to the potential for lake effect snow showers and, well, ocean effect snow showers off the Long Island Sound and off of the Delaware Bay over portions of southern New Jersey, around Long Island, and around Connecticut. That's something that we're going to have to watch out for and watch to see how that evolves. So when we take a look at our satellite pictures, it's this feature right here that's extending that. I wasn't really expecting earlier. I thought that, okay, it would be a very short, quick cutoff in southern New Jersey. But this right here is a signal that we might be dealing with a little bit more precipitation behind that. And in the water vapor satellite picture, you can see the upper level low taking shape. There's our storm from yesterday. Again, I have to kind of point out, if this was a little bit faster, this would have been pulled further west, and there's your winter storm. Why do I bring that up? Well, I'm going to talk about the rest of the pattern in just a moment as well. So the way that I'm seeing all these observations set up, I think that the HRR has a pretty good support here on what is evolving here. With this heavy rainfall coming through, it's going to start to push through late in the morning, continuing on through the afternoon. By around noon, it's going to be cutting through much of New Jersey. Snow on the back end here, and we're not talking about a lot, but it doesn't need up to be a lot with temperatures falling into the teens. So again, watch out for your slick roadways. And also, yeah, it could produce just enough of a dusting to give you that little white Christmas feel. I mean, not a lot, maybe a dusting an inch in some locations, but still, it's a nice feel. But beware that as this initially changes over from heavy rain to heavy snow, you're going to have that quick, heavy burst, and that's going to reduce your visibility quite a bit. And then by the time we get to the afternoon hours and the evening rush hour, sure, the heavy precipitation is gone, But there is your setup here for the Long Island Sound already starting to show up, clipping portions of northeastern Suffolk County. You have the cold air coming off of the ocean here, of course. Potential for a few snow flurries out here. And that's going to continue on through the weekend as we watch these little short waves rotate around and be a threat. Now, there has been thought of a potential threat for the middle and end of next week. That's losing support, and the reason why is because of the ridge axis here. Remember, I said the ridge axis is very important. If the ridge axis is to the west or to the east, it makes it more difficult for these short waves to interact. The latest guidance, and now we're getting close to 90 hours now, so it's gaining pretty good support here, is that this ridge is getting pushed a little bit too far to the east too fast. So that means that this whole setup gets pushed further out into the Atlantic. So it looks more like a scattered snow shower threat on Wednesday rather than any type of snowstorm or any type of winter storm. And unfortunately, what that means is that you lose your high latitude blocking, and so you set up your next storm to most likely cut up towards the lakes. Now, I know I'm already hearing winter weather lovers screaming right now saying winter's canceled. But I implore you, again, I warned you guys, there's a reason why there's a less than 10% chance of a white Christmas around here. Because setting up this pattern is very difficult. Most of our winter storms are from mid-January to mid-February. So, yes, we are going to be moving into a milder pattern as we move into January. And I still like the idea of that flip back around January 15th. And I'll give you 3 reasons why. One, you still have your trough around the Aleutians. So that's still there. That's still ready to evolve and support a winter weather pattern. And as long as you have below normal heights here, you have above normal heights here. So we're not dealing with a raging southeast ridge setting up, more like a polar Pacific air mass really setting up, diving into the region. So we don't have the Arctic connection. You have the polar Pacific connection coming in. And you have an active subtropical jet stream. And La Nina is getting ready to crash. Okay, there's a lot of things we look at. One of them is the subsurface temperatures. Those are collapsing. And let me tell you, when that happens, be prepared. So, we're watching that very carefully. And then there's still a lot of support for disruption and stretching of the polar vortex as we move towards mid-January. So yes, this type of pattern is a perfect example of the pattern was right, but the interaction of short waves were just a little bit off. That's essentially what we have here, which is typical for early December and mid-December and late December, and why it's very, very difficult to get a quote-unquote white Christmas around here. So, unless you're in Hollywood, which they always seem to have one, but I digress. So, yes, this pattern missed opportunities, but with missed opportunities, there's always more potential moving forward. So I just wanted to touch on that while some of you guys are screaming winter canceled and all that other stuff. And I know a lot of snowplow guys out there understand we're just starting. Okay? So just bear with me. We're getting it, but don't worry. I'll guide you through. Now, let's talk about this forecast. For today, we already talked about our crashing temperatures. We already had our high temperatures. Temperatures are going to be rapidly falling with strong winds. So your wind chills are going to be bad. Rain changing over to snow. We'll have live coverage throughout the day as this evolves. So that way you're prepared. For tomorrow, threat for a few snow showers. Not a widespread snow showers, but just be prepared for a passing snow shower or two. Very cold weather conditions with winds from the west around 10 to 20 miles per hour with higher gusts. Look at low temperatures around 0 over the interior and lower teens on the coast. Again, we're in the 50s. Now we're talking about 0. Right? That's a 50-degree drop. By tomorrow afternoon, sky cloud cover, passing snow shower or two. Look for high temperatures around the single digits over the interior and lower to mid-20s on the immediate coast. For Sunday, Christmas Day, sky cloud cover is expected. Again, can't rule out a passing snow shower or two, especially around the Poconos and Catskills. Look for low temperatures in the single digits over the interior, mid-teens along the coast. High temperatures will range from the upper teens to lower 20s over the interior, mid to upper 20s along the coast. On Monday, I know a lot of people are off on Monday for a variety of reasons. It's celebrated as the Christmas holiday for the federal holiday. Look for scattered cloud cover. High pressure starts to exit. Look for low temperatures to range from the single digits over the interior to the upper teens along the coast. High temperatures will range from the upper teens to lower 20s over the interior, mid 20s to lower 30s along the coast. On Tuesday, a weak trough will pass through with scattered cloud cover. Could see a pesky snow shower. Look for low temperatures to range from the upper teens to mid 20s. High temperatures will range from the upper 20s to lower 30s. On Wednesday, that low pressure passes off the coast again with the threat for a pesky snow shower or two. But other than that, scattered cloud cover is now expected. Look for low temperatures to range from the single digits to lower teens over the interior and upper teens to mid 20s along the coast. High temperatures will range from the mid to upper 30s. On Thursday, high pressure will be in control with scattered cloud cover. Tranquil conditions are expected. Look for low temperatures in the mid to upper 20s, high temperatures in the upper 30s to lower 40s over the northern interior, lower to mid 40s along the coast. And on Friday, high pressure will slowly exit with scattered cloud cover expected. We're going to have an earth storm developing off to our west. Look for low temperatures to range from the upper 20s to lower 30s and high temperatures in the upper 40s to lower 50s. That is your forecast discussion for today. I hope everyone takes special care, with driving, and just use caution. Look, this isn't like a hype thing, okay? Any moisture on that roadway is going to create an icy sheen, okay? Not that everyone freezes and the whole town goes into ice mode, but just a fine sheen. And it doesn't take much to create some serious problems with traveling. So I'm not saying stay in your house and lock the doors and hide and watch out for Arctic wolves. I'm just saying if you're traveling, use some caution, be prepared, and just be aware of that potential for some of those icy conditions. And also bundle up, prepare yourself, because tonight, actually this afternoon, some pretty significant frostbite concerns will be there with wind chills below zero. So just be prepared for that. And I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday weekend, no matter what you're celebrating, no matter what you're doing. Festivus, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever. I'm always up for a good feast. So there you go. Have a wonderful time, and as always, stay safe out there.